He said, when we turned around to run, there was a reptile alien standing behind us.
Yeah, I see. Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Brookster Watches. Today, we're going to be delving into something that we have never ever discussed on this channel before, and that would be reptilians. Yes, I was kind of feeling awkward to do this right here because I didn't know how y'all were going to respond to it, but it's very, very scary. Like, once I started researching it, which I've never really gotten into it much before, of course, on the channel. Mainly we discussed Dogman and, you know, some other cryptids, but this is kind of off the subject of, I guess some people would consider them cryptids, but I feel like they're a little bit something more. And it's just really weird because, first and foremost, I had my second dream last night of something draconian, and it's just really weird. So I decided that I would do a little bit of research and include y'all into the research with me. So we're going to learn a little about reptilians today, and I say let's just go ahead and dive right on in. Now, we always start with TikTok, of course, so most of these are actually from TikTok. Alright guys, so here is a reptilian cryptid caught on camera in Thailand. And it's by Myra Moore official account. So let's go ahead and give it a watch. Yeah, I see. Oh my gosh, that is so creepy. Oh, hell no to that. That's crazy. What do you guys think that was? Do you think that was real? Do you think it was just a hoax? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, so we do have a few of these explanation videos about reptilians, and this is one of them. This is by Biltran, and it says information about reptilians from government officials. Now, whether this is true or not, I do not know. That's why I always leave it up to y'all to decide. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if this is all just, you know, some kind of conspiracy that everybody's been coming up with, but a lot of people do believe in these reptilians and believe that they are a part of the government. Some of them are celebrities and just like the higher ranked elites in the world. So I don't know, but let's go ahead and give this one a watch.
Here's some information spoken about reptilians by government officials and ex-government workers. The reptilians are known to be part of a grander empire that goes by many different names, mainly the Draconian Empire, which is basically a dark force. They have been visiting Earth since its creation, and they have been known to do genetic experiments on humans and animals, especially during the time of the dinosaurs. They have been known for infiltrating less advanced planets by first offering technology in exchange for resources, because they know that these civilizations are looking for technological advancements. Infiltrating planets from the inside is their specialty, and it is easier to take over civilizations using this technique, which is exactly what they're doing for Earth. This is why you hear a lot about elites being reptilians or having reptilian connections, because they're doing this exact same technique for Earth through the elites. Apparently they have a hierarchical system which includes the elite reptilians having wings, and I keep hearing about this through government officials, CIA agents, people who channel ETs, and it's even depicted in movies. Throughout my research, I keep coming across that at the top of their hierarchical system are dragons, and they haven't polarized the positive or negative, they're neutral. So many shamans have told me this too. They have chosen to advance technologically instead of spiritually, meaning that they have chosen not to advance spiritually at all and repel anything related to the universe and love. This is very common for lower vibrational civilizations. This may also surprise you, but not all reptilians are bad. There are actually split off groups that are high vibrational and are traveling far and wide across the universe to help civilizations like ours. Overall, I want you to know that this civilization has millions of years of history in our universe, and especially on our planet. If they aren't one of the most ancient, they're one of the most dangerous.
Wow, guys, that was a lot of information to take in. I know, like, hearing this is just kind of crazy, especially when it syncs up a lot with my dreams I've been having. And just to hear some of them are good, that kind of brings comfort in itself. And I would like to know more about this quote unquote good ones. But to me, in all honesty, it sounds a lot like what the fallen angels did when they came to Earth. Like, they mated with women, they experimented on humans and animals and stuff like that to like make giants and all that stuff. But I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, this one right here is by Astrid Diaz, and it says The Draconians Part 1.
Part 1.
Birth of Ha-Horus. Those that don't know say that the Dogons got their information on Sirius from the Egyptians. However, according to the Dogon, they got their knowledge from travelers from beyond the stars, who traveled from the planet attached to Sirius B and who landed on the Earth and bred with them. As a matter of fact, the Dogons were the descendants from the Egyptians. These travelers from beyond the stars that came and bred with the Dogons were reptilians. These reptilians came from Sirius B. They traveled to Earth once their sun or star Sirius B collapsed, becoming very dense, also known as a white dwarf. When the planet-sized ship called Procyon, a binary star in the constellation Canis Minor, which is the Greek name for Nibiru, meaning planet which crosses the skies, or planet of the crossing passed by Sirius B, its presence drained the energy from the sun, and it caused this great star Sirius B to collapse. Sirius B had two planets. The Narians Greys were on one planet, and the Nomos Reptilian were on the other. Both planets rotated around Sirius B. So when their sun died, they, the inhabitants of Sirius, followed Nibiru through the Milky Way, one chasing the other. They took residence on Earth in a country now called Mali, which is where the Dogon lived. The reptilians have been breeding and living with humans for centuries. They are humanoid in shape and reptilian in heritage. Their leaders are the Draconi. They are from Draco, a constellation in the polar region of the northern hemisphere, near Cephus and Ursa Major, also called the Dragon. The reptilians stand from 8 foot down to 6 foot in height, with dark green scaly skin. Their leader is Harton. Harton is a reptilian who defected from the reptilians while on Earth and reformed to fight against the reptilians on behalf of humans. He is the commander of the Ashtar Command. There are 16 kinds of reptilians seen these days by abductees. There is a type of species of reptilians called the gargoyles that have special wings, which are flaps of skin supported by long ribs of the trachona. Some reptilians can either lay eggs or bear by larvae, and some of them are of neutral gender and reproduce like lizards. The male species nurtures the eggs and the females just lay them. These beings are also known as the dragon race or the whip-tailed lizards, and the symbology usually includes a winged serpent. There are elements of their species which do not have wings, the soldier class and the scientists. The Narians and the Maccabians are really a crossbreed between humans, greys, and the reptilian species.
That is actually crazy. I know we're going like so deep down the rabbit hole today, and man, my mind has just been blown by this. Like, it was almost like I was meant to share this whole video because of, like I said, the dreams I have been having about this Draconian race. And last night was like the last straw, man. Like, last night I actually dreamed that someone actually labeled me a Draconian, a dragon. They called me a dragon, and it was so weird. It was like it was this girl playing these video games, and she was like playing this like really pretty purple dragon. And I know you're going to think Spyro, and that's exactly what came to mind at first, but it was more like this. It was a bigger, prettier, female looking dragon, and she was going on and on about how she made this specific character and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, is it supposed to represent you? And she looked at me and she was like, no, it's you. And I just like kind of lost it when I woke up. I was like, what the actual heck is that? Because I've had dreams in the past where I've actually had wings and could fly, but it was always like I would get out of the bad situations that I was in dreams and stuff like that. And it's so weird. Like in these dreams, I'm always protected. Now, last night, it wasn't like a bad, scary dream. Like it was just like she looked surprised. She was like, no, this dragon is you. And I was just like, what? So also, more about myself. I was born in the year 88, which sure enough is the year of the dragon. So I don't know, guys, like it just, like all this stuff is just kind of freaking me out a little bit, but like I'm just telling you right now, if I am a dragon, I would definitely be on the good side of them, because I don't know, like some of these videos and clips and stuff with what they're saying, the bad ones, just, it's a no for me. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. So here we have aliens and cryptids on TikTok, of course, and it says reptilian skin suit slips up during an interview. So here are the people that are like humanoid reptilians, hybrids, I guess. So let's go ahead and give this a watch. Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see his eyes glitching a little bit. Now, could that be just like a camera malfunction? Or like a filter that they use? I don't know, that's kind of weird because it made him look like he had like a ton of black eyeliner on underneath his eyes. But let's see. Or it could have very well just have been edited in to make it look like that. I don't know why they would do that for an interview, but you just never know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So again, we have some more history on the reptilian race, and this is by Life Keys TV Meditation Chakra. And it says, the world is being ran by fourth dimensional beings called Draconians. So here we go.
For you ones that think people are crazy when they talk about reptilians, Draconian reptilians, this is a statue thousands of years old of a Draconian king that used to rule the world, okay? They were ruling in physical form, in open sight, okay? They have since went underground, okay? They have layers underground, under the ground that you walk on every day. They also have ships, okay, in the atmosphere where they send certain types of energy at the people and try to keep them on a low frequency. These beings are very intellectual, and they are actually also spiritual too, okay, but they use their power for negativity. You see him eyes closed in meditation. He's actually doing a mudra, just like a hammer. You can use it for good, you can use it for bad.
Oh, I see
they
that.
chose to use theirs to keep the people asleep, okay? But what they really don't want you to know is you're just as spiritual and more spiritual in certain categories once you get out of those lower three chakras. This is a statue, the leg is missing. That shows you how old it is. This is a statue of a reptilian mom breastfeeding her reptilian child, okay? These beings are more fourth dimensional now. They do have physical beings, physical reptilians too, but they are more, like I said, underground. Some of them are even chained up. This is the tomb of that first picture I showed you of this reptilian being, okay?
Wow.
And this is what they do. They keep you in a low frequency and then they attach to your solar plexus. This is a physical being, but this is a fourth dimensional astral reptilian spirit attaching to him. So he's working through the human being for his own selfishness. And this is how they have been operating. And they also have hybrids too, where they just put their consciousness into the hybrid of the robotic being, and they walk around with us like normal humans, but they're not, okay? But once you open up your third eye, you can start to see these beings. They want to keep you in the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. You must rise above and get to the heart, get to the throat chakra, on up to the third eye, on up to the crown chakra. It is necessary that you learn to ascend. It is necessary that you learn true spirituality, okay? True spirituality that they have that they don't want you to get.
Or just turn to Jesus, because that is just way too deep for me. That is craziness. I mean, like, in a good way. I'm not saying it's, well, I mean, yeah, what they do, it seems a lot like demonic possession is what he was describing. So from a Christianity point of view. So I don't know, guys. Okay, Wolfpack. So this one is by Guitar Miles, and it says Shapeshifter Terrifies Man. So let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Check it out. Shapeshifter, right? That's what we're thinking.
What the
Okay, let's
heck?
watch it again. This has been sent to me like 20 times for me to, analyze it to see what I think.
There was like a face. What is happening?
Keep watching. Pay attention.
That looks like AI almost. You know how AI does that, like, morphing thing? And the little dude in front makes me think it more is, but that is freaky. Oh my
Right
gosh,
there.
why?
That's the one that kind of gets me right there. You can see me snapping the screenshots while I'm watching
And
this.
then, like,
trying
the
to
little
catch
dude
each
that
frame,
comes
and that's
through,
what
like,
we're
where the
gonna
heck
look
did
at.
he come
We're going
from?
to look at each frame on when it happens, and we're going to see what's going on. So first off, this is what we have. And I have to rule out every possibility. Is this a movie? I don't know, and I haven't seen it if it is, although I'm sure the comments will say it with no information or no links to back it up. If you do have that information, please back it up. Don't say it, because if you say it and you can't back it up, it looks pathetic. So let's get started. We see this first frame right here. You can see me snapping these
said it, not
frames,
me.
and I'm just going to show you through each one, because we're going to look at it. This is a real thing. For me, it is. This is real. I'm not saying this video, I'm saying that this phenomena is very real, I think, considering personal things I've seen. Now, this video is more than likely AI. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. But it might not be. So let's check it out. See this? Okay, now we see this.
That's
I've tried
creepy.
to lighten it up and clear it up. And look, usually when I do that, now I will say this, if it's artificial intelligence, it'll kind of gleam out. It'll fade out. I could not get the skull, the image to fade out whatsoever. I mean, it stayed solid. So that could have some authenticity to it. So let's check this next frame. Okay, then you can see this here. And actually, I got those two frames crossed up. And the other one goes after this one. So let's watch this one. I'm not going to even go back try to correct the video. We'll just go back. All right, so this is actually the second frame. Okay, so check that out. All right, let's go back. This is third frame. Now, right before she turns all the way around, this is what happens. This guy looks terrified. I don't have him on this image, but this is what ends up happening. That's the same person right there. Now,
Who is
is
the little
this
dude,
an
though?
AI
Like-
generated? Is it AI generated content where
I
this
think
guy just looks
so.
like that the whole time and they've added everything else to me? Who knows? I'll let you leave the comments. You tell me.
I think it is AI generated just because of this little man right here behind his hat. Like, it's got to be, because, like, he's like literally, that dude is so massive compared to that other dude. I don't know. To me, guys, I think it's AI. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. This one is another information overload, and it's by Draconian202, and it says, recalls an encounter between 5 Christian families and a reptilian humanoid in the mountains of Colorado. So let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Sumerians, the Phoenician Canaanites, the Egyptians, especially the Sumerians, all the ancient peoples of the world talked about the reptile aliens. Well, after the program, I got a phone call from a guy who's, later on I found out, is an extremely wealthy businessman in Las Vegas. He buys and sells hotels and commercial properties in Vegas, and he was the biggest there. And he said, I'm a Christian, and I have 5 men who work for me in my office, and they're Christians, and they all belong to the same church. We all go to the same church, and all 6 of us are in the office, and we were hearing you today. And he said, when you mentioned reptile aliens, I had to call you and tell you. Every year, we go somewhere in the world on vacation, and my company pays for everything. And he says, so I take, and all 6 families go together on a vacation somewhere. And he says, and last year, now this was like in 88, so he's talking about 87. And he said, last year we decided to go camping for a couple of weeks in Colorado. And he says, we were up in the mountains and we broke camp one morning, and we walked up to the top of this mountain. We were almost there anyway at camp, and then the next morning when we broke camp, we walked up to the top of the mountain to look over the lay of the land. And he says that out in the valley, we could see that there had been an area that had been cleared away. It was like a round area that had been cleared away. And there was a circle of people out there, and they were all wearing robes, and they were all holding hands and swaying back and forth, singing and chanting. You could barely hear them. But he said, but it was very quiet where we were. We could see that there was some kind of a ritual dancing or swaying back and forth in a circle. They were all holding hands. And there was obviously somebody in the middle, like a priest or something in the middle. And he said, this is out in the middle of nowhere, that these people are out here with this thing that they're doing. And he said, we're up here in the mountains looking down on them. And he said, while we were standing there looking at them, all of a sudden, a second figure popped up out of nowhere. But it was bigger than the man that was in the middle. It's in the middle too, but it's much bigger. And it pointed up at us. And he said, and all the singing stopped, everybody stopped and pointed. And he said, we knew we'd been had. And he said, we didn't know what was going on, but whatever it was, it just popped in out of nowhere, pointed up at us, and everybody is now pointing at us. And he said, so we figured we better just get out of here. He said, when we turned around, it was standing behind us. That thing which was down there was already behind us. That's how quick it moved. He said, when we turned around to run, there was a reptile alien standing behind us. He said this thing was at least 7 to 7.5 foot, to maybe 8 foot tall, had a reptile man's head, but it was a reptile head. It was very muscular, looked like a human body on the ordinary of a human body, but a reptile body, extremely muscular. And he said, and it was looking at us, and he said, it has some kind of a spell on us so that the children and the women, no one could move. We were like frozen. And he said, and even nobody could say anything, nobody could cry, nobody could run, nobody could do anything. And he said we were staring at it, and it was looking at us, but it had control over us. It had locked us so that we couldn't move, we couldn't scream, we couldn't do anything. And he said, and this thing was gazing at all of us, looking at the children, looking at the women. He said, this reptile alien, and he says, we're just Christians in a church, but we saw a reptile alien. This thing was not of this world. And he said this thing was looking at all of us, and then he said it looked at the men, and the look he gave us, we understood. He didn't say anything, but we knew. He was saying, I'm going to leave you alone. But when I leave here, you better get out of here. And he said, the alien walked over like he was leaving, is gone. Just like they was gone. And he said, when he was gone, the moment he was gone, everyone came back to life. And the babies were screaming, the women were yelling, screaming. Everybody came back to life. Instantly. And he says, we ran like we were totally out of our minds, running back to the cars. We ran down the hill, got in the cars, and the women were screaming, the children were yelling, and he says, and we drove back, and he said it was the most incredible, horrible experience. And he says, all the guys in my office will tell you, we saw a reptile alien in Colorado. So when you're talking about, he says, so when you're talking about reptile aliens in the ancient world, I got news for you. There's one we know for sure in Colorado. We saw him.
Y'all, that is so creepy. That story, like, literally gave me chill bumps. And again, yet again, going back to the dreams I've had. Now, I've had many dreams about being surrounded in people in robes, just like that. Now, I never did see like a reptile face or anything in the robes, but I have had dreams where I was surrounded by people in robes, which is really creepy to me. And I've had that dream at least 2 or 3 times. Like, it's just really crazy to me, all these synchronicities that happened. And I didn't know anything about this. Like, I had never researched reptilians before this, honestly. Like, it's just crazy to me. This next one right here is by Mysterious Paranormales. Mysterious Paranormales. Sorry if I butchered that. I know I did. That's crazy. And it says, can someone explain what's going on here? So, and they're claiming that she's a reptile.
Can someone explain what's going on here?
And we are witnessing that.
Mujer reptiliana captada en cámara.
I will point out was after a round of intense finishing conversations and negotiations over the weekend that started on Saturday morning with the speaker and myself and the trade rep, Robert Lighthizer. We went back and Mr. Trump, the speaker, was on a hunting expedition. We spoke with him frequently. But the speaker...
I don't know. To me, it looks like the drugs are hitting.
About, we're near. And on Sunday, when Tom Brady was about to take it in...
Now, I'm not blaming it on that.
I looked at my phone. It said Pelosi for caller ID. Long wisdom tells me, the hell with Brady, take the call.
And I was watching Baltimore and
I mean, she very well could even have like an earpiece in her ear and she's like listening. Maybe if she's like, you know, I don't know what she is here. Or if like she's a Secret Service agent, she could be listening to something like what's going on like in her ear or something like that. Or it could just be drugs or not blaming it on that.
This is a
you just never know.
Agreement. It's a template, I believe.
Yeah, but why is she doing that?
Agreements. Our constant emphasis was on enforceability. We fixed that. And the idea and the notion that the president of the AFL-CIO, Rich Trumka, would be supportive of this initiative, I think, tells the story. But this is more than a triumph for organized labor. It's a triumph for workers everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like she's trying to like focus and she's high at the same time. I don't know, guys. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I think a lot of these, like the ones where they catch like the news anchors and the like, it's just either like their filters on there messing up or like just glitches in the camera or just, you know, I mean, it very well could be drugs. I have no idea, but again, I'm not trying to blame anybody for doing drugs or anything like that. I'm just saying things it could be. Okay, guys, this one right here is super scary. It says it's by Native Starseed, and it says volume up, and they think it's reptilians in the cave.
What is that? Wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera.
Man communicates and hears strange voices saying, "Get out." It's reptilians.
Do you hear that?
Then it stops.
Wow. What is that? Wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera.
Oh yeah, we can hear it.
Do you hear that? It stopped. Wow.
That's definitely voices. That's crazy to me. I did hear them say get out, but I don't know. That's very strange to me. Okay, here's another one right here I thought was pretty good. And it's by Divine Pisces 444. It says, we were being watched and hunted.
Hey guys, so this is me and my son outside basically trying to figure out what the hell was at the back of our fence. I'll try to zoom in on these. Now, as I walk you through this, you guys, remember this happened last year. So I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. So fast forward about 3 hours later, the same night that camera just kept going off. So finally I just got on and sat on. And I thank God I did, because look what I caught. Now, the next video, it will go back to what we were looking at. But this is what came to the park later that night. So listen, guys,
like light beams,
prior to us capturing this, we were having all kind of encounters. And when I say encounters, I'm talking about we were seeing shit that just wasn't making sense. It didn't make sense, okay? And they were coming in our house. We were seeing them outside the house, inside the house. But then you saw that, right? You saw that, right? That
I
is your
definitely
ET
seen
right
that.
there. And what I'm learning today, everything that we've encountered is not extraterrestrial. I did not know that. I thought if it came from another place, another dimension, I meant it was extraterrestrial. Wrong. ETs, extraterrestrial, it is not. So this is what we were looking at. This check, now watch the first one that looks like the swan. This is what we went outside to investigate, you guys. They came for about 2 months nonstop. You saw that, right?
Yep.
And they were
This is
releasing
crazy.
light. Some of it was in the shape
Yeah,
of a
it looks
ball.
like-
Oh, wait till you see the last video. Some of it was in the shape of a ball. Some of it was in shape of like a person, little people. They would go up into that tree. So if you see how the tree hangs over, the back of the tree is completely blurred out, because it's like a magnetic field right there. I don't know the terms for it, you guys. I just know that whole area is affected by it. The front of the tree where it hangs over. I watched that area. It was like it turned into like a television. I saw faces emerge. Okay, so now this is another night, and I got, look at this. I got the camera angled, so I was trying to get it from every angle to see as much as I could see. Watch how this plays out, you guys. Now, I have to tell you this. This is between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. This is not, there's no one at that park. You understand what I'm saying? Many nights we went out there until we started feeling like sensations from these lights. Like,
look at them,
like they were sending vibration towards us. And they didn't feel good, you guys. I remember this one. I know for a fact it was one of those lights, because I had just got off the camera. I'm in the kitchen. Something just told me to stop staring, like, stop watching them. So I got off the camera. About 5 seconds later, up in the kitchen, in the ceiling at the corner, it sounded like a speaker was right there. I hear this. It was like oh my God, it was like a horn, some kind of, horn being blown. But not only did I hear it, I felt it go through my entire body. And it hurt, you guys. The shit hurt it. It felt like I was being electrocuted. But not like a deep, it was so deep. You
felt the energy.
The shit was so deep. So I knew then I had to back up. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, look at that, you guys. I couldn't record as much as I wanted to. But I got what I could, and a lot of...
Whoa. And hold on. Now, do you think that's like some kids or some pranksters out there with like flashlights or something like that? I mean, honestly, I don't know. She said that nobody was in that park, but I mean, how could we know for sure that wasn't there? Because that almost looked like a flashlight going by. Now, not to discredit her or anything like that. I'm just saying what it could be, of course.
Times by me getting on and recording, it was almost like I was provoking them to come into my house. You understand what I'm saying? I had good experiences and I've had bad. The grays did come, and I've talked to other people that have had encounters, and we all say the same thing. You wake up, so you think it was a dream. This right here, besides my boys having encounters and us all three being together and seeing something at the same time, is the only reason why I know they're not dreams. They're not dreams, but besides me and my boys, the fact that my camera was capturing it, it validated that this is really happening. This is a real thing happening to us.
Y'all, that's crazy. Like, I seriously, believe her. Like, I think that there are some weird stuff. Like, it almost, and this is going to sound weird, but it almost reminded me of, what goes on at Skinwalker Ranch. Like, with the UFOs and stuff like that. I know, her film was going by really fast, but I wonder if she had captured any of those, little dark orbs in the sky and stuff. But obviously, you could see something was going on over there. I mean, there was light beings, there were shadow beings, there was something going on. But I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so here is another one that claims that someone on camera is shape-shifting and can't keep their human form. So let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Algo anda mal.
It's by Mysterio 1111, by the way.
Se camuflan.
She looked over it. Okay, it did look like her eyeballs almost popped out of her head, but almost... Oh, wow. Yeah, her eyes did move a little bit weird.
Algo anda mal. Se camuflan.
But it looks like she's just kind of over what the person speaking is saying. Oh my gosh, rolling her eyes a little bit. And it could have been a little bit of the camera malfunction, not keeping up with the eye roll. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you. But I don't know. With these ones, I feel a little bit awkward in saying that these are legitimate, because it could just be camera malfunctions, or they use filters and stuff nowadays, even on live TV. So, I mean, it could be what it is. Now, this one is pretty freaky, and it's by the Flat Earther here on TikTok, and it says an encounter with a mask-wearing reptilian. So let's go ahead and give it a watch.
An encounter with a mask-wearing reptilian.
Oh, wow. That does look like a mask. And the way she's
an encounter with a mask-wearing reptilian.
That is freaky. Whether or not she's a reptilian or not, who knows? But it could just been some creepy woman in a mask.
An encounter with a mask-wearing reptilian.
I don't know, guys. What do you think? Okay, guys. Now, this one was pretty good. It's by Buddy from Oz. It says, Reptilian Bloodline Explained.
Just pick up this line of bloodlines, which the Sumerian tablets talk about, which you talk about. The interbreeding of humanity, and how the accounts explain that these crossbreeds were put into the positions of royal ruling power.
Hold on. Let's just talk about his necklace right quick, though. That looks like a giant hand on his necklace right there. I wonder what that means or represents. I don't think it's a real hand, but I wouldn't think that it is. I think it's some kind of maybe clay or something made from jewelry, but it looks almost like a giant's hand. It's weird, huh?
Almost just like demigods, middlemen between the gods, the Chickahuli, the reptiles, and the people. Those bloodlines, in my own research, became the European royal families and aristocracy, and today are the ruling banking, business, and political and royal lines of the world. And the genealogy supports this increasingly.
My ear thing just disconnected. And it just connected again.
Is there a tradition also?
And it just started playing again. Y'all, that was weird. Like, as soon as he started talking about the bloodlines, my earpiece, like, literally just disconnected. And it connected yet again. That is so weird. I'm going to back it up a little bit.
Genealogy supports this increasingly. Is there a tradition also that the royal lines of Africa go back to the same source?
Please, you don't have to believe me. Go to Rwanda and there talk to the people there. They will tell you that the founding ancestors of their dynasties, the first kings who came from the sky, and they were called Imanugela, the ascending ones. Say, many African tribes believe that when the gods came down from the sky, they found human beings very, very stupid. And the human beings could not come before the gods in order to be taught. So what the gods did, and this is a story that you also find amongst the Dogoni people in West Africa, because the human beings were afraid of approaching these reptile gods. The reptile gods cold-bloodedly slaughtered one of their number and shed out its flesh with a specially gathered crowd of human beings. And these human beings then became the ancestors of our first great kings. Now say, African kings jealously guarded their blood.
If the royal lines of Africa claim descendants from the same source, basically, have those lines interbred as obsessively as the European aristocracy and royal family, and not bred outside of those lines?
Yes, sir. Royalty had to marry royalty. That was one of the strictest laws in ancient times.
Which is obviously where we get the term the divine right of kings from. It's not actually God, it's actually the gods.
Yes, sir, yes. Royalty intermarried with royalty.
If we could...
Well, it does make a lot of sense, being that that's what the Egyptians did too. And I've been a lot into Egyptology forever, and I know that they would intermarry and things like that. And you know, they wanted to protect the royal bloodline. So what he's saying really does match up with the ancient times. So I don't know, guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So this one right here is by Horror Folder, and it says terrifying cryptid caught on camera. Now I'm just wondering, could this be a reptilian? It says the farmer didn't see it at first. Okay, yeah, now to me, that looks almost reptilian, draconian, or even possibly like rakish, like the rake, you know. I don't know though. What do you guys think? Okay, Wolfpack, so this last one actually is from YouTube, and it's by Doctopi. And it says, news reporter's eyes glitched during a live broadcast. Now, out of all the news anchors and, you know, interviewers and stuff like that, this is the one I actually think might be the most quote-unquote real reptilian of them all. But like I said, it could just be a camera glitch. Let's just go ahead and give it a watch.
Forces and protecting the population and minimizing civilian casualties have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency doctrine.
That just freaked me out.
Have long been a cornerstone of the counterinsurgency doctrine.
Because, okay, now see, back then where this looks like it was filmed, it did not, I don't think they had any kind of filters. Now, they may have had filters back then, but I think this is like, the filters are more of a recent thing. Like if you see like one of the interviewers that they're talking about, like her neck kind of like expands. Now to me, I think that's just like a filter malfunction or whatever for live TV. But I'm not really sure. Now to me, this does look like her second set of like lids. Like, I don't know. It does look super freaky to me, but I'm not sure. Gonna leave it up to you. So let me know what you think. And guys, make sure you go and like all of these. Like if you have a TikTok, make sure you go like and follow all the TikTokers I mentioned and shared their videos, just out of respect since I am sharing them. And make sure you go over to Dr. Pie and like this video, okay? Thanks, guys. Well, everyone, what did you think of those 15 creepy reptilians caught on camera? Let me know in the comments below. Also, do you have a freaky reptilian encounter, any kind of cryptid encounter actually? Send it to me. You can either email me or you can just leave it in the comments below. And guys, as always, I want to give a shout out to all of the members of the channel. Guys, thank you so much for what you do. You really, really do help this channel out more than you ever know, and I am so grateful to you. And Wolfpack, remember, keep your chin up, keep your paws up, keep going, stay strong, thank God on the daily, and turn to Jesus. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, guys, make sure to check out the Oh Hell No merchandise I put out, OHN. It's really nice. It's really cool. I'm actually working on some more merchandise for you guys for the end of summer. So yeah, make sure you do check that out on spring. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving this video a watch. I will see you in the next. Bye.